You arrive at work feeling uneasy. Yesterday you saw cracks in the walls, but today you've been forced to return. You sit at your machine, your heart pounding with fear. Little do you know, within moments, everything will fall apart. This is the story of Rana Plaza, a catastrophe that claimed over 1,100 lives and left behind a scene of unimaginable horror. Rana Plaza, located in Savar, Bangladesh, was an 8-story commercial building that housed 5 garment factories, a bank, and various other businesses. The building was owned by Sohail Rana, a politically connected businessman who built it in 2006. Originally, Rana Plaza was only supposed to be a 5-story building designed for shops and offices, but Sohail Rana illegally added extra floors, violating building codes and without proper safety assessments. The structure was never intended to support the heavy machinery and thousands of workers that the garment factories brought in. Over time, the building began to deteriorate under the weight of the equipment, but Rana was more interested in making quick profits than ensuring the building's safety. On April 2013, the cracks in the building were visible to everyone. On April 23rd, engineers inspected the building and warned that it was no longer safe for anyone to enter. The shops and the banks on the lower floors were immediately shut down, but the garment factory managers ordered the workers to return the next day, desperate to meet production deadlines. Workers were threatened with losing their pay if they refused. On the morning of April 24th, 2013, thousands of workers entered Rana Plaza, terrified but with no other choice. Just after 8:45 a.m., the ground began to tremble. The building shook violently. Some workers tried to run, but the buildings collapsed before anyone could reach the exits. I heard a loud cracking sound, then everything started to collapse. I ran, but it was too late. The floor beneath me gave way, and the entire building came crashing down. Within seconds, the entire structure pancaked. 8 floors collapsed on top of one another, trapping thousands of workers beneath tons of concrete and debris. The noise was deafening, a mix of metal screeching and concrete snapping like twigs. Those inside were buried alive, surrounded by darkness and debris. The smell of dust, the weight of steel beams, and the sound of cries for help filled the air. For many workers, their bodies were pinned under machinery, crushed beyond recognition. Bones snapped, limbs twisted at unnatural angles, and some suffocated, unable to breathe under the massive weight of the rubble. I was pinned beneath a beam. My leg was broken, and I couldn't move. People around me were screaming, but it soon grew quiet. I thought I was going to die. The scene inside the collapsed building was nightmarish. Rescue workers later described the horrors they found: bodies crushed beyond recognition, limbs severed, and many workers covered in deep wounds from the debris. Some survivors were so badly injured that the limbs had to be amputated on the spot just to free them. For those who were rescued, many faced a long and painful recovery. They had been trapped for hours or days, unable to move, barely able to breathe, with broken bones and severe injuries. The trauma they endured would last a lifetime. I was buried alive for 2 days. I drank my own urine to survive. My legs was crushed, and I knew I would never walk the same again. The bodies of the dead were often unidentifiable. Some were disfigured beyond recognition, their faces smashed by the falling debris. Many families waited for days, hoping to find their loved ones, but some never got the closure they needed. So why did Rana Plaza collapse? The answer lies in a combination of structural failures and the greed of those in charge. The building's design had been flawed from the start. It was never meant to hold the heavy equipment of garment factories or accommodate thousands of workers. The illegal addition of extra floors only made things worse. The cracks in the building were a clear warning sign, but they were ignored. When engineers inspected the building on April 23rd, they explicitly warned Sohail Rana and the factory owners that the building wasn't safe. But instead of closing the factory, they chose to prioritize profits over people's lives. Deadlines needed to be met, orders had to be shipped, and so, despite all the warnings, workers were forced back inside on April 24th, sealing their fate. So, who was responsible for this tragedy? At the center of it all was Sohail Rana, the building's owner. He had violated every safety code, illegally adding floors and ignoring engineering reports that highlighted the dangers. On the day of the collapse, he fled, but he was arrested a few days later while attempting to escape across the border. The factory owners also played a crucial role in this disaster. They knew the building wasn't safe, but they forced the workers to return, threatening them with unemployment if they didn't comply. And beyond these individuals, the government had failed to enforce proper building regulations or inspect garment factories, allowing dangerous conditions to persist in thousands of factories across the country. The international brands that sourced their clothes from Rana Plaza were also implicated. They had turned a blind eye to the appalling working conditions, driven by a desire for low cost labor. After the disaster, many of these brands faced public outrage, and their role in the tragedy became a focal point of global protest against unsafe labor practices in the garment industry. Sohail Rana was sentenced to prison along with several factory owners, but for many, the sentences were not enough. The punishment could never match the scale of the tragedy. Families of the victims demanded justice, but they also wanted accountability from the global fashion brands that had fueled the demand for cheap, quickly produced clothing. The Rana Plaza disaster sent shockwaves around the world. It exposed the dark side of the global fashion industry, where profits were prioritized over workers' lives. The public demanded change, and in response, the Accord on Fire and Building Safety was signed by over 200 global brands. This agreement aimed to improve factory conditions in Bangladesh, promising regular safety inspections, better worker protection, and accountability from factory owners. However, for the survivors and the families of the victims, the changes came too late. Over 1,100 people had already died, and thousands more were left physically and emotionally scarred. The damage had been done. The Rana Plaza collapse was not just a tragic accident, it was a consequence of greed, corruption, and a system that valued profit over human life.